Hey y'all,
What's up, y'all?
I'm Elise,
And I'm Will.
and this is Team
Team
Tatum.
Tatum. Disclaimer: don't watch this review. Watch just up to we giving you the synopsis. Go watch this movie, then come back here. All right. I don't get into the spoiler stuff. Go watch the movie, come back, then watch this. It's bananas. Today we're reviewing the 1951 crime drama thriller Strangers on a Train, directed by none other than Alfred Hitchcock. It is starring Farley Granger, Robert Walker, amongst others. I don't know none of these people. Did you know anybody?
No,
Yeah, we didn't know nobody. I even looked through the IMDb and I've seen some stuff they've been in, but I don't remember them in it. But yeah, right off the bat, I'm a little sick of Alfred Hitchcock. Not because his movies aren't good, but because this is the third movie on this list that we've done of his. And I went ahead and looked at the list. This man has 16 movies on this list. 1,001 movies you gotta watch before you die. And he owns 16 of them.
is it the boy good?
The boy not that good.
What can we say?
I've enjoyed all of them, but there's other directors out there. Come on.
I feel like out of the ones we've watched so far, we've said yes that it is a movie that you should watch so far. So
He ain't gonna look. We only done 3. Well, 2 that we reviewed. This is our third one. We'll see what his track record is at the end of the 16. It's gonna be a minute before we watch. I'm gonna look and see, because I don't see who the director is. I just kind of pick one based off of how we feeling, like the theme, not the theme, the genre or whatever. But now I'm gonna also look at the director, and if it's this boy, it's gonna be a minute.
we should have an Alfred Hitchcock marathon, like for his birthday month, and just review all his movies that month.
Okay, we can do that. Watch it be July that he born in.
June.
But anyway, so had you heard of this movie before?
I had not.
So I heard of this movie not technically because it was a movie, but it's based on a novel. So technically I heard of the novel. So a couple years ago, I found this audiobook called 8 Perfect Murders. And I listened to it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. If you haven't heard of it, I would highly recommend it. And in the book, he name drops Strangers on a Train for one. And another one I want to see. Dang, I can't remember what the name of it was. But I never can find it on streaming. So when I saw that this was available on streaming, I was like, gotta watch that. So that's why I picked this one, this go around, just because I've been wanting to see the movies that were referenced in the book. Because he was like, these were like perfect murders. These are great murders. So I just want to see how it turned out. But the premise is there's 2 strangers on a train, and one of the strangers comes up to the first guy and says, hey, how about you commit my murder and I'll commit your murder? That way we're both quote unquote innocent. We both have an alibi. Like, we'll go do something when the other person calls. So like, you go play golf or something or whatever, and make sure everybody sees you. I go commit your murder, and then when your person winds up dead, they're like, well, he couldn't have did it because he was out playing golf. Like, I was playing the back 9 with him. But yeah, that's the basic premise of the movie. That's not what IMDb says, but that's what it is. You want to talk about the movie?
Yeah.
All right, talk about the movie.
Well, he didn't just walk up to him and be like, hey, you do my murder, I do your murder. He did at least start a conversation.
I just gave you the premise.
He did at least have a conversation with the man first, and he recognized him from somewhere.
He's a famous tennis player.
He had a reason to just go up and start talking to him out of the blue. And then during that's when hey, you do this, I do that. And the tennis player, he was like, yeah, sure, buddy, great. But he was being a little too sarcastic, or not enough sarcastic. I can't tell which one, but it was leaning more towards, yeah, I agree with you for real, instead of, you crazy brother, let me get out of here. So the man really thought that he was agreeing to doing the murders with him. That's his fault.
100% his fault.
Yeah. And this movie, I was about to start giving a review. So a highlight, little pieces throughout that I want to touch on. The tennis player, the man who is being, what's the word? Not enticed. Propositioned. The man who's being propositioned to do the murders.
His name is Guy, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know. Guy, he is currently in a relationship with a woman, and this woman's sister is hilarious.
Guy who knew this guy's cousin.
Shut up!
She is like the best. What? Oh, she's like the best person in the movie to me. She cracks me up, and she matches the crazy man's crazy pretty much, and so much so that she was basically almost immediately from meeting him was like, you crazy and I'm gonna keep an eye on you.
Like, she was not fooled by that dude at all. First meeting, she was like, I see a little bit of me in you.
Right.
I got it in me. You got it out of you. You real crazy.
But yeah, she was a joy to watch.
Tidbit: Alfred Hitchcock's daughter.
Oh, you told me that. I forgot. But yeah, she
Patricia
was a top runner. I don't. What kind of the quote unquote fiance? I was gonna say I don't think it was anybody that I was just like, whatever. But slightly the fiance. I didn't really care about her for real.
She wasn't a fiance.
I know, that's why I said quote unquote fiance.
So to give more context, this relationship is an affair. Let's just call it what it is. So this dude's married. Guy's married, but him and his wife ain't together.
Yeah, they're
or whatever.
separated.
Like they separated because apparently she out in these streets. But
cheating real bad.
He's also out in these streets, except he's out in the streets with one woman, and she out in the streets with the whole town. Basically.
But he is like, he got with his girl after they got separated, though. And so he was like, we getting divorced anyway, I might as well start testing the waters.
Right.
But he already ready to marry this new girl as soon as the divorce papers are signed. So it got deep real fast with him, with the person that he was with. And his wife, spoiler alert, got pregnant by the person that she was cheating with. Allegedly, she told him he wasn't the daddy, but she might have just been doing it out of spite. It was not determined whether or not he was the daddy, or actually whether or not she was pregnant.
She was a terrible person. Like, the movie shows you, and I guess maybe because it was the 50s, they were like, we gotta make it okay of like why he's doing what he's doing, or whatever. So we gotta make her terrible. She's real bad. Like, it's like, you definitely should get divorced from her. Like, she's dangling the divorce in front of him or whatever, and then once she finds out that he's with old girl, because he's keeping it on the low, but once they get caught in the papers or whatever, then she's like, oh well, suddenly I don't want to get divorced no more, just to spite him or whatever, even though she was wanting to get divorced. So they make it so that you despise her, and you don't feel bad that there's an affair going on. You're like, I'll let this one slide, but go on.
So that's why it was like the quote unquote fiance, since he's not even technically full-fledged still married.
Right.
But yeah, so she was uninteresting to me, and she ain't had no faith in that man child. Soon as anything happened against him, she was like, why'd you do it? She asked no questions. She 100% immediately took whoever else's side against him every time. And then, meanwhile, her sister was like, "We gotta find a way to get you out of this. Get your name clear." Blah blah blah.
Right,
She was his road
Yeah,
dog.
she was down. She was just like, he wouldn't do that.
Known her for 2 freaking weeks.
Meanwhile, she was, why would you do that? She was very stone faced.
Never talk to you again.
Yeah, it would have been like, you know what? It's not even worth it. It's gonna piece this relationship up.
Yeah,
But go.
that was all. I don't know how deeply I want to get into talking about it.
So to give more context into the meat of the story, the murder. So Bruno is the guy who approaches the situation, right? So Bruno hates his stepdad. It was his real dad? It was his stepdad.
Real dad.
It was his real dad, sorry. It was his real dad. He hates that dude. He's telling Guy, you know, this, that, and the third about him, about how he's such a terrible father and all this, so he wants to kill him. But he don't want to go to jail for it or whatever, right? But he been thinking about it a real long time. He got this elaborate plan. So he's like, yo, I know you recently got caught in the papers and in the tabloids or whatever of messing around with the senator's daughter. Oh yeah, by the way, the woman he's messing with is the senator's daughter, some type of political guy's daughter. He might not be senator, but he was just like, you can't, everybody knows you married and that you having this affair, and I know you want to get rid of your wife. I know the stories has been real messy or whatever. I'll get rid of her for you, and in that way you get to get rid of her, but you also get to get the heat off of you because everybody know you don't like her. So if she wind up dead, you number one suspect. But if I give you a good alibi and the deeds still get done, then, you know, win-win or whatever, right? And again, like Elise said, this dude was not like, boy, if you don't get out of my face. Like, they was on a train.
Yeah.
They were not on the airplane where he was locked in the seat. He could have got up and moved at any time. He could have got the security guard.
He did try to leave one time for dinner, and they were like, "Oh, sorry, all the seats are already taken."
Well, then there's other
But
cars.
that was the only time he tried, though.
There's an uncountable, well, not uncountable. There's a lot of cars that this man could have gone to, you know, but he engaged in this conversation. So him not saying no basically made Bruno was like, cool, we on.
He was saying yes too. Like, it wasn't even that he didn't say no. He was seriously telling us, I was like, that's a great idea, man. Yeah, I like what you're talking about.
And technically on paper, like, that's a good plan or whatever. But these two bumbling imbeciles just
Doo-doo birds.
messed that all up. So basically, I gotta tell this part just so I can rant about it later. So Guy goes to see his estranged wife, and this is where she tells him that she's pregnant with some other dude's baby and she not getting a divorce, and she gonna flaunt it in front of old girl and all of that and just make him miserable. And so he get heated and he hem her up in the corner, like
in a public place.
In a public place at her job. So he at her job and he hem her up or whatever. And this old man, or I guess he's the owner, is like, hey, you gotta take that mess out of here. Like, he knows that's her husband. He was like, y'all gotta take this domestic dispute outside. Don't do that in my store or whatever, right? And then scene moves on and Bruno winds up, this is getting into the spoiler territory, by the way, so you've been warned. Bruno winds up finding out where old girl is at, because this is back in the day where everybody's listed in the phone book. So he finds in the phone book, finds her address, follows her. She's going to the carnival with not one dude, two dudes
together.
She about to have a good time. And so follows her at the carnival. She peeps him at the carnival, but instead of being creeped out, she's like, I'll take a third, okay. And he chokes out, whatever, strangles her to death, right? And then a piece of evidence is that he dropped a lighter, which he got from Guy on the train. When he was lighting his cigarette. He didn't have a match, so Guy gave him his lighter. Problem is, Guy's lighter is a custom-made engraved lighter.
It says 2G from A.
Yeah. So he drops it, so now the whole alibi thing is out the window because this piece of evidence is there. And
he took her glasses, but
yeah,
that was intentional.
Yeah, because, you know, murderers got to take some type of keepsake. but he doesn't realize he's left the lighter until he goes to light a cigarette, and he's like, oh, so now I got to go back to the scene of the crime. But by this point, you know, somebody done found the body, because he didn't hide it or nothing. He just left it out in the open. Well, they were in a dark part of the carnival or whatever.
Yeah, like
but
the outskirts.
yeah, but now that, you know, everybody done showed up and called the cops and all that. Moving on, he calls Guy up and it's like, hey, I did it. And Guy's like, who is this? And you did what? He's like, it's Bruno. You remember Bruno, your buddy from the train? And he was just like, oh yeah, the weird guy who was talking about the murder thing. He was like, yeah, I did that. He was like, what? Excuse me?
Squeeze me?
He was like, yeah, your wife's dead. Go and check the papers. It should be there soon. Sure enough, you know, he's like, oh snap, this dude was serious.
Got a phone call like right after that. It's the wife's daddy calling to tell him. And what does fiance do? You killed her, didn't you? Ain't nobody said nothing. All she heard was that his wife was dead. She was like, why'd you kill her? It's like, golly, girl. Why are you with this man?
So yeah, basically the rest of the movie is him trying to like
prove his
innocence, doing everything but telling the police about Bruno. So he's going the long way around. And
the police follow him. Like, the police know about what's going on. He's a prime suspect, so he's being tailed by the cops.
Yeah.
All he had to do was literally go outside. He in the house, cop right here across the street watching him. Go outside, say, hey, officer, actually, this man, also Bruno has put himself into the family friend group now as well. So
like,
he's going places with them. All he got to do is tell the cop, hey, you know this man that just randomly started hanging out with us? He's the person that killed my wife. That's why he's here, because he's basically torturing me and trying to get me to kill his daddy still, etc., etc. It's very easy to do.
Right. So yeah, Bruno real mad crazy, because like she said, he just pops up at lunch one day, and it's just this is where the sister, Alfred Hitchcock's daughter, this is where her antennas pop up and she like, this boy crazy. But don't nobody, you know, pay her no mind because she just a little sister. But yeah, finally Guy gets fed up. He's like, fine, I'll kill your daddy. All right, does that make it go away? He was like, thank you. So he mails the dude a gun.
Bruno mailed Guy
a gun. Bruno mailed Guy a gun. And so, first of all, postal service, y'all suck. Because
they had different rules back then, I guess.
That's ridiculous. But he gets a gun and a map to his house. Hand-drawn map, like Goonies style. Here's the floor plan to get to my dad's room. Or whatever. This is what you do. And so, Guy dumb self goes, but his plan is to warn his dad that, hey, your son crazy and he want to kill you. He sent me here to kill you, but I ain't gonna kill you. You should do something about that. I'm not personally, but you should. Unfortunately for him, Bruno is a little bit smarter than him.
Hip to your boy.
Yeah, he hip to your boy.
Need some wood and hang. Oh damn it! They got the lock on them. They got the lock on them. They hip to your boy.
So he gets in. Guy gets into the room. Surprise, surprise! It's not his daddy there. It's Bruno. Bruno's like, I knew you weren't gonna do it. I knew you was gonna double cross me, or whatever. But he's like,
give me the gun back.
Give me the gun back. And Guy gives him the gun. In this situation,
you got my brother hit a gun back.
You gonna give this crazy dude a loaded gun, and you just got caught double crossing him, trying to turn him in. It's like, Guy is not smart. Guy is clearly one of them, like, I wouldn't call him a meathead because he playing tennis.
Tennis was his only
strong point. That's his only strong point is tennis. He ain't got no brains or whatever. This is Scarecrow City right here. So for whatever reason, you know, Bruno let him skate on. He's just like, I'm gonna be around because I'm
my daddy.
Yeah. And I know all your secrets. Like if I go down, you going down with me. And basically to wrap this up, he finally does go to the police with terrible, like, evidence, because the only evidence he's got is that this drunk guy was also on the train.
Oh no, that was a separate thing. when the drunk guy was on the train.
That was a separate thing.
But he was his alibi still that he couldn't have been there because he was on another train.
Another train when his wife got murdered. Again, you know, your best defense is a drunk guy, and of course the dude was, you know, drunk, so he don't remember nothing. Not a thing.
So he barely remember being on the train.
Right, and it's funny because when he brings him into the police station, he's like, here's the guy. Tell him you know me. And he was like, he literally said, I've never seen this man a day before.
Sorry to this man.
Sorry to this man.
And he was dead serious because he was plastered drunk. He don't remember. And the cops was like, boy, why you wasting my time?
Like, how would I know he was on the train, sir? How am I telling you stuff about his personal life that he told me on the train if I was not with him on said train?
But it turns out the dude was like a professor, like a famous professor. Mm-hmm. And so it was like,
he just looked me up.
Just looked him up or whatever. But they still don't arrest the dude. They still just tell him. Like, they never are like, you know what? Let's go on, come over here. Let me lock you up.
He never even got handcuffed or nothing.
Right. And this is privilege at its finest. So fast forward to the third act. I don't know why. Oh, Bruno was like, I gotta go back to the scene of the crime and get that lighter or whatever, because that's the only thing really that I can dangle above guy's head or whatever, right? That I got this lighter. And so guy finds out, guy finds out that he's going, so he's trying to race him to the spot, to the car.
Trying to get to the lighter first.
Right. But the problem is guy is having a tennis match that day that Bruno's supposed to be going back to the carnival. So the craziest tennis game happens, and it's legit you watching tennis. Middle of a movie, just tennis game. I'm talking about in the stands. Just stops
watching a
tennis match. And guy is working this dude or whatever. Beats him, takes off running, ditches the tail, like his little quote-unquote sister-in-law, delays the cops, like she causes a distraction so he can get away. He already done prepaid a taxi to be waiting on him with clothes in a taxi. He tells him to head to the carnival spot. He changes the clothes in the taxi. He gets to the carnival or whatever, but they know where he's headed because again they've been following him the whole time or whatever. And I
was just gonna say Bruno left a little bit before him, but luckily for a guy, Bruno, what did he drop in there? The key or something? I don't know. He dropped something down a storm drain.
Was it the lighter? Did he get the?
It was a lighter. All right, so he already had the lighter.
So what was he going back to the carnival for?
I don't know.
What was he going back to the carnival for then?
3 hours later.
He still went. He was re-putting
the lighter. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah. It's been a little minute since we watched it. We've been busy. So yeah, he originally forgot the lighter, went back and got it already, and then was like, I'm gonna put it back. Like once he found out the guy wasn't gonna do his part, he was like, well, I'm gonna put the lighter back then. I was helping you out. Yeah. I'm gonna put it back. But he drops the lighter down a storm drain, like walking down the sidewalk. And the most infuriating and laughable thing happens ever. Like the most flabbergasted. Me, her 2 sisters, and her mom. We all watched this movie together, right? And we were in disbelief at what we were seeing. This man, this is the 50s, so you ain't walking around with no t-shirt and jeans on. You're walking around in a suit.
Full suit.
Also, Bruno is stupid rich, so he dressed to the nines all the time. He drops a lighter down a storm drain. Now I don't know if y'all seen a storm drain before, but the little bitty grate where like your hand, just your hand, can go through if you don't got fat hands. He reaches down, the camera shows the lighter. there's a foot between his fingers and the lighter. Like his fingers are here, and that lighter is the couch. And you see him, can't get it. He
Stretch Armstrong
finds something to like get the lighter and winds up knocking it lower. So lower than this already. Okay? It's already lower than this. The camera is like going back and forth between being up top on the street. He's gathering a crowd. Like people are like, what is he doing down there? And being down in the sewer so you can see his hand and the lighter. You see Mr. Fantastic go past the point where the lighter was originally, down to the lower part and get the lighter.
past his elbow and everything, and it's great by now.
Gotta be up to his tricep. Still got this suit jacket on.
Still, the hole is only this big.
Right. So now we've ventured into fantasy land because clearly this man is not human. Like he's got some type of mutant gene or something. He squeezed through that great like Senator
man.
Kelly on
X-Men.
X-Men. We were like, there's no way that he got past his wrist, and there's definitely no way that he still had that suit jacket on. It was ridiculous, but he got the lighter. Inconceivable. He gets the lighter. He races to the carnival. Guy gets there, but they come in on opposite sides or whatever, right? And so the third act ramps up. So what I have noticed in the older movies, like 50s, 60s era, the first two acts are like here. Like you're never doing a whole bunch. And they like it may start off with a bang. And by bang, I mean like a pew. Not really a bang. And then it just kind of levels out and it's steady. But then that third act, they go bananas. So all the all the you're intensely watching a movie for the older movies is like so far has been at the third act. This third act is the craziest third act we've ever seen in our life.
Crazy.
So Bruno is waiting in the wings for a time to get this lighter planted. So where he originally killed the girl at, they took like the little gondola ride thing. It wasn't a gondola. It was
some kind of
log ride, some type of boat ride. And unbeknownst to him, the operator of the boat ride saw Bruno because Bruno walks around with a Bruno lapel pin. Not lapel pin, tie bar. Yeah. With a tie bar. Like that's his pride and joy. Like that's what he's wearing. Like that's his Michael Jackson white glitter glove. Is this tie bar. And he's wearing it again. Because again, walking around in a suit. And the operator guy's like, I saw the dude the night of the murder. And Bruno sees him looking at him. And the dude sees Bruno looking at him. And Bruno gets the idea like, I don't like the way this dude is looking at me. And then
you gave him the hush up, little boy.
Yeah. And so he was like, I gotta get out of here. And when he tries the jet, he sees Guy, and the craziest thing happens. So Bruno decides he's gonna make his great escape on a merry-go-round carousel.
Right, guys.
The up and down horsey thing. Now, what was his game plan? I don't know. But he gets on, but he knocks over the guy operator or whatever, right? And then him and Guy get on. And they start duking it out in front of this little boy, which is the funniest thing ever.
He was having a good time.
So it's like literally there's a boy on a horse and there's Guy and Bruno in front of him going ham on each other. And he's just riding it. Yeah.
Best seat in the room.
Right. Like he front row at the Tyson fight. He having a blast or whatever, right? The cops finally show up, even though they've been tailing this man. And one cop, he must have been transported from 2025. He couldn't have been from the 1950s because he pulled his piece out and without hesitation shot at both of them. Well, technically he shot at Guy. He don't know nothing about Bruno. But he shot, misses, and kills the operator.
And fully breaks the ride.
Right, because when the operator falls over dead, he's still holding the little lever, and he knocks the thing into overdrive. Now, why it has an overdrive, I don't know. But
about overdrive.
That thing is spinning.
Talk about in it.
Like, it's going like
that spaceship ride.
It's going
at
faster
the carnival where it holds you up against the wall.
It's going faster than that. It's ridiculous. Like, it's a blur. Kids are screaming. Moms are losing their crap.
People flying off the carousel.
Yeah, people are flying off the carousel.
Kids.
You see people, like, we're not exaggerating. You see people flying off that joint. And like I said, moms are losing their mind because their small children are on there. The boy that was watching the fight, he's like 8 or something, right? He was holding on. Oh,
your legs were flying by. Unfortunately, he was one of the kids that got thrown off.
It's crazy. And so then they're like, how do we stop it? And he was like, are you gonna? This is the cops. The cops is like, now the chief of police is there. The chief of police ain't said nothing to this man that just shot this man without warning, right? He was just like, how are we gonna stop this thing? He was like, why don't you get out there? He was like, I ain't going out there. You crazy? Then this old man,
little bitty old man,
a little what you think of as an old man. He's like, I'll do it. Rolls up his invisible sleeves, gets down on the ground and starts crawling, army crawling, to get up underneath the carousel because the controls are in the center. Yeah. Like, you got to go up under where the floor is, where all the horses and stuff are, and then stand up and there's the control thing.
Like an emergency brake.
Not fake.
Crawling under there. Mm-mm-mm.
Now, they did some film trickery to make it go faster, than it actually would, but that old man was an old stunt man. And he crawled up under there because Alfred wanted it to be realistic. And I'm just like, it don't gotta be that realistic, bro. But he said he was so terrified that once the scene was done, he's like, I'll never do something like that. He was like, it sounded good. Yeah. And it looked great. But I was terrified. We're never doing that again. But that was real. He literally crawled up under there. But it's so intense. Like, all of us are sitting on the couch. It's like, what's happening? Why would you let that man? We talking trash to the cops. Now, y'all old 30-year-old something says gonna let this 80-year-old something dude crawl up under this carousel? Like, y'all trash. Like, you was already trash when you shot the operator. Right. And now you trash for letting this man do his thing or whatever. But he gets up under there. He stops it. But they still fighting, by the way. Guy and Bruno still throwing blows.
Never ending. Stop.
But when he stops it, it's a hard stop.
He stops it.
And so everything, like, whoever was still on there, forget that. Crash. Thrown off. It falls apart. And in the rubble is Guy and Bruno. Bruno got the worst of it. He got crushed by horses and poles and stuff. Yeah. Or whatever. The cops roll up to arrest Guy, and he was like, I'm not the one who did it.
Innocent.
He did it. And
like, well, he ain't telling us nothing. He did.
Right. And the boat operator is like, actually, I don't know what's going on right here, but that's the dude that I saw the night of the murder. I've never seen this dude before in my life. And he was like, I bet you he got a lighter on him. He was going to plant it here to make me seem guilty. And he was like, you can't check dead body. He was like, watch me. And he wouldn't let him. But at that moment, Bruno finally died and let his hand go. And out fell the lighter. And the cop was like,
I guess you didn't do it. Like, that's all the evidence they needed was that he was holding a lighter in his hand. This man could have made up any kind of story.
Oh.
He's they like, literally was like, you going to jail. He's like, all right, yeah.
And
have a nice afternoon. No trial.
Right, no trial, no nothing. Lived happily ever after. End the movie.
Got to marry his girlfriend.
Right. End of story. So, all that being said, what would you rate this movie?
I would give Strangers on a Train 4.5 out of 5 Cowboy Ninjas.
What?
What, you don't agree?
I do not. All right. Do you think it deserves to be on the 1001 movies you must watch before you die?
Yep. I sure in the heck do, Chip. What other questions she got? I'm telling everybody to watch Strangers on the Train. You hear me?
Oh my goodness.
I can't wait for this review to come out so I can share it with everybody so that they'll watch it. I'm going to tell them, actually, don't even watch the review. Go watch the movie, then come back and watch the review because you need to see this movie. It's aces. I love it. I want to watch it again. And yourself.
I give Strangers on the Train 3 cowboy ninjas out of 5.
So you liked it.
I did the third act. You can't deny the third act. The third act is top tier. That might be one of the best third acts. Like, we were so invested.
Right. We holding pillows.
Right. We were screaming at the TV. Like,
what are you doing?
all of us are screaming at the TV. No one was that invested. Like, no one was like really engaged. Like, we were watching it. Like, it wasn't boring. But when that third act, like once they got to the carnival,
Man,
we was like, "What are you doing?
talking about
What's
crazy.
Like, so I on the strength of the third act, I give it this 3. I probably give it 2.5. But the third act gotta get his shot. Now, the reason why I say that, and I don't think it needs to be on the list. It's not something you must watch. Like, is a crazy movie.
I ain't never seen nothing like it.
Is a crazy movie. Just for the third act alone, you should watch it. But I can't say that it's like, I don't know. Okay, so here's my dilemma. Having read the 8 Perfect Murders book, I really thought that these were gonna be like some top tier murders or whatever. Like, I was gonna watch Genius at work to be like, man, they really playing this out. This is like one of the best not going to jail murders ever. Because people always talk, people always be brash with their murders. They always just want to, they do it out of passion. They don't ever think it through or whatever, right? And so I was really intrigued. Now, we watched another movie, Dial M for Murder, which another Hitchcock movie, by the way. I don't think it's not on the list. But yeah, this was like from jump, the murder plan was like just not thought out at all. Like, on paper, you do mine, I do yours. Okay, cool. But your plan is just to walk up in a very public place and strangle my wife to death? Like, and then show up, like, pester me? Because we never saw each other before today. No one had ever seen us together. We had very good alibis. But immediately after killing my wife, you calling me left and right. Now, granted, they didn't have like caller ID and they didn't do no phone records, nothing like that back then. At least I don't think. I know they didn't have caller ID, but I don't know about the phone records. You showing up at my doorstep. You coming, everywhere I'm at. I'm out at lunch. I'm out at, the game or whatever. You coming to my house. All this stuff. Like, I hated the fact that we stopped this whole movie to watch this tennis match. Like, it was a full-on tennis match or whatever. And then it was all clumsy. Him taking the gun, and when he got the gun, he didn't immediately like go do the thing. He like put it in his drawer, but like on the top drawer in the front. Like, he didn't cover it up with no clothes or nothing. People think you murdered your wife, and now you got this unregistered gun in your dress. He just made a ton of mistakes. So it was this stupidity or whatever after stupidity. There was nothing cinematically crazy about it or whatever. Like, usually there's some stuff was like, oh, this was a new shot. Like, this had never been done with a camera before.
You never seen no arm stretching that suit like that before.
Yeah, the arm stretching thing, though highly entertaining after the fact. Like, that was the other part besides the third act. Well, that wasn't the third act. But that's another part where we were just going crazy on. But we were going crazy like, this is not real. This basically
It was
was
entertaining to me still.
Fast and the Furious going into space. Like, we just doing unbelievable things. So yeah, it was just a bunch of stuff where I was like, is this supposed to be real? Like, real life? I don't buy none of it. Seeing Alfred Hitchcock's cameo as always, that was cool. Whatever. But
I liked the choking scene at the party. It was very entertaining to me. I was invested in the whole movie, watching it. Not as much as the third act, jumping and yelling and all that kind of stuff, but the whole time I was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Do you have any kind of common sense in your life? Like, the whole time
I was
fussing
too,
that guy was
but
what entertained me about the movie and like drew me into it. I like fussing at people on movies from time to time because they being so stupid.
I mean, I guess on one hand, the stupidity kept me engaged. Like, I wasn't like, this is dumb, turn this off. But I still was like, this is dumb. Why don't you just do this? The internet boy, I don't know the boy name. You probably know the boy name. Where he's just like,
Oh. Do you know he got apprehended by ICE recently?
Did not.
Yep.
Not surprised.
Apparently
though.
he didn't renew his visa. And so he was technically here illegally. They yanked him up.
Dang. But yeah. I mean, sorry for that, man. But that's how I was. I was like, why are we doing this? Like, nothing. People weren't real. Like, again, never got put in cuffs. Like, they didn't. It was just a bunch of stuff that just didn't make any sense. But it was entertaining. But like I said, except for that third act, there's nothing crazy you gotta see.
All of a sudden, just jump up and grind my feet on somebody's couch like it's something to do. Come on, I got a little more sense than that. Yeah, I remember grinding my feet on Eddie's couch.
You know what? I changed my mind. Put it on the list. It's too crazy not to watch.
That's what I was talking about.
It's not a great film. Like, there's nothing crazy about it cinematically. I still stand by that. The dumbness is unreal, but it's so crazy. You know what? This is Birdemic.
You about to cross some fucking line.
I'm gonna upset a lot of people who know anything about Birdemic.
First of all, I do not recommend anybody to watch Birdemic.
But yeah, this is not bad. So bad that it's good, like Birdemic, because again, it's not bad. But it's so crazy to me that the events that unfolded, and that it was written that way. Like, it's insane. And that third act is still top tier. That's top 10 third acts.
Exactly. That's why it should be on the list.
Of any movie. So go ahead and put it on the list. So what is he 3 for 3?
3 for 3.
We put North by Northwest on the list? Or did I feel like I said no to North by Northwest. I don't know. We'll insert a clip.
I think we said yeah from the airplane scene and the other part, the aerial view.
No. We're
all
review. But yeah, all right. You got me. I changed my mind. Put it on the list. I still give it 3. But it's on the list. But we watched it on Tubi. Y'all should check it out. And, let us know
if you've seen it before.
What you thought about it. If you've seen
tell
it,
us.
Let us know. But yeah, that's all I got.
Well, guys, thank you for coming out. God bless you. We appreciate you for watching our reviews. We are going to have a few coming out on a regular basis in the near future. So keep an eye out for those. And if you saw our quick little recent short that we posted about our hiking trip to Colorado Bend, let us know about that. If you haven't, go watch it. It's cute and it's less than a minute long. And if you want to see more, you can click on the related video that's linked to it to watch the full vlog of when we previously camped at Colorado Bend State Park and got lost on that same trail. But yeah, that's all that I have. Thank y'all for coming out. As he said, like this video pretty please. Comment down below whether you've seen this movie before or if you plan on watching it from what we've told you, if you don't mind spoilers. And share this with everybody that you know, even people you don't like. You can ask somebody for their phone number just so that you can text them this video to watch. Thank you.
And this has been another episode of
Team Tatum. Wow.